Today is Monday, May 6th. What to know about a standoff on Capitol Hill, which former Trump campaign official is now heading to prison, and a promising study about AIDS. Plus, the first of its kind drama at the Kentucky Derby and fashion's biggest night. Welcome to The Newsworthy. All the day's news in less than 10 minutes. Fast, fair, fun, and on the go. I'm Erica Mandy. Thanks so much for being here. You ready? Let's do this. There's a standoff happening on Capitol Hill today. The Washington Post reports today is the new deadline that House Democrats gave Attorney General William Barr. They want him to hand over the full unredacted report from Special Counsel Robert Mueller's Russia investigation. Or else, Democrats say they'll start the process to hold Barr in contempt for not cooperating with the subpoena. Barr says the confidential info in that report could hurt the integrity of investigations if it's released. So stay tuned. At the same time, Democrats are hoping to have Special Counsel Robert Mueller himself testify on May 15th. But President Trump is pushing back on that now. Trump tweeted Mueller should not testify because the report means it's over. Even though CNBC reports Trump had originally said he'd be okay with it. Attorney General Barr has also said he would not stand in the way. Whatever happens, this is a big deal. Mueller has never talked about this investigation or his report in public, and there's been at least some tension between him and Barr. To be continued. Well, speaking of people involved in the Russia investigation, President Trump's former personal lawyer and fixer, Michael Cohen, heads to prison today, and he's expected to hold a press conference before he walks in. Remember, Cohen pleaded guilty to campaign finance violations, tax evasion, bank fraud, and lying to Congress. He cooperated with prosecutors and was sentenced to 3 years behind bars. The AP reports he tried offering up more information about President Trump to prosecutors to get his sentence lowered, but no luck. They weren't interested. So Cohen will report to a minimum security prison in New York this morning. 2 planes made serious emergency landings this weekend. The latest in Russia turned deadly. The BBC reports at least 41 people were killed when a Russian plane burst into flames after landing. The aircraft took off from Moscow, and soon after takeoff, pilots issued a distress call. There were reportedly technical reasons for the emergency landing, but it's all under investigation. And before that, a crash landing in the U.S. A Boeing 737 plane slid off the runway into a shallow river. It happened at a military base in Jacksonville, Florida. The plane was coming from Cuba on Friday. The AP reports all 140 passengers on board got off safely with no serious injuries, although some pets on board did not make it. Investigators are still looking into why this happened and if weather played a part. To be clear, this is a different model of plane than the 737 MAX jets that are grounded around the world. Tensions between Israel and Gaza escalated this weekend. The New York Times reports it's the worst combat between the two in 5 years. In a matter of 2 days, more than 20 people have been killed. The Times reports it all started Friday when a sniper hurt 2 Israeli soldiers, and then Palestinian militants in the Gaza Strip fired more than 600 rockets at Israel. Israel fired back with airstrikes of its own. The Times reports the two have battled on and off since the militant Islamic group Hamas took over Gaza, and Israel put a land, sea, and air blockade on the area. A ceasefire could now be in the works. Trade talks with China were supposed to start up again this week, but now the Wall Street Journal says China might back out. And the reason is a tweet from Trump. The president threatened to increase tariffs on $200 billion worth of Chinese goods from 10% to 25%, and that he'll do it as soon as this Friday. Reuters reports President Trump says negotiations are simply moving too slowly. So these extra tariffs, basically an extra tax on imported goods, could be a way for him to apply last-minute pressure. And keep in mind, tariffs affect what you pay for consumer goods. China and the U.S. are supposed to meet on Wednesday. We'll see if it actually happens. Today's the day Tiger Woods will get the Presidential Medal of Freedom at the White House. It's the highest honor for a civilian, and Trump has said he's giving it to Woods because of his incredible success and comeback in sports and life. Woods won his 5th Masters title last month after a bunch of personal and professional struggles over the years. Although some critics question the president's motives, the New York Times reports Tiger Woods has agreed in the past to design a golf course for Trump's Dubai property that has yet to open. For the first time in the history of the Kentucky Derby, the horse that crossed the finish line first was disqualified for a foul on the track. The controversial call happened about 20 minutes after the race ended. NBC Sports reports that all 3 race stewards agreed the first horse, Maximum Security, veered out and interfered with the other horses around the final turn. It's the first time something like this has happened in the Kentucky Derby's 145-year history. The only other disqualified winner was in 1968, days after the race, because of a drug violation. This year, it means victory for the number 2 horse, Country House, which is a surprise win since Country House was a 65-1 long shot contender. Congrats to Country House. More news ahead, but first, let me tell you about our sponsor today, Noom, and how it can help you live a healthier lifestyle. We all know you can't just hope for the best when it comes to reaching your goals. Well, Noom helps you build better habits and lose weight by helping you figure out what goals are best for you and providing the tools and support you need to get going and stick with it. And the best part? Noom is convenient. It's all in the palm of your hand, right on your smartphone, so you can use Noom and reference it whenever and wherever you need it. With Noom, you'll have personalized training and even your own support team, including a goal specialist to guide you when it comes to the best behaviors and nutrition. I personally like how easy it is to get started and how you can customize the goals you want. For me, it's an easy way to track my step goals for the day and make sure I'm not just sitting at my desk all day long. And I like that you can track your weight and habits over time with tips and tricks to help out along the way. Noom is designed for results. So sign up for your trial today at Noom.com/newsworthy. That's Noom, Noom.com/newsworthy to start losing weight for good. Noom.com/newsworthy. Now back to the news. A new study shows there could be an end to AIDS. The Guardian reports researchers studied 1,000 couples where one partner has HIV, the virus that causes AIDS, and the other does not. Researchers say the results found that if the HIV virus is fully suppressed with medication to undetectable levels, then there's no chance of infecting the other partner. In other words, researchers say if everyone with HIV and AIDS were fully treated, it could help end the HIV pandemic. And researchers say it's a powerful message to encourage more people to get tested and treated. Avengers Endgame broke more records at the box office this weekend. Variety says it's now the fastest film ever to earn more than $2 billion. And it's the second highest grossing movie of all time after the movie Avatar. Avengers Endgame is now one of just 5 movies to ever make $2 billion in global ticket sales. It joins Avatar, Titanic, Star Wars The Force Awakens, and Avengers Infinity War. Of course, Avengers Endgame was number 1 at the box office for the second weekend in a row in both North America and around the world. Lots of talk about a record-breaking Jeopardy winner who has now won 22 times in a row. USA Today says that's the second highest number of consecutive wins in the history of the game show. And James Holtzhauer already broke the record for single-day cash winnings, winning about $111,000 in just one show, for a total of nearly $1.7 million in winnings. And he's not done yet, though we'll have to wait to see if he can keep it up. The game show has its annual Teachers Tournament for the next 2 weeks. Then all eyes will be back on Holtzhauer. For the first time in pageant history, the winners of Miss USA, Miss Teen USA, and Miss America are all Black women. CBS News reports the first Miss America pageant was in 1921, and women of color weren't even allowed to compete until the 1940s. Even after that, the first Black Miss America didn't win until 1983, and the first Black Miss USA and Teen USA weren't crowned until the 90s. This year's Miss USA is Chesley Christ. She's an attorney from North Carolina. She says her generation is the first to have a forward-looking mindset, and she's looking forward to continued progress. Tonight is the Met Gala, fashion's biggest night. The New York Times says celebrities from all over the world will be there. The event is at the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York. It marks the beginning of the Costume Institute's annual show. While the event is called the Party of the Year for celebrities, it's mainly held to raise money for the Costume Institute. Tickets are $35,000 apiece, and celebrities pay up to $300,000 for a table. Lady Gaga and Harry Styles are co-hosting the event. You won't be able to watch the actual gala, but you can live stream the red carpet arrivals starting around 5 p.m. Eastern Time tonight. Many of you may have celebrated Cinco de Mayo yesterday, but there's more to it than tacos and margaritas. NPR cites a poll that found only 22% of Americans know what Cinco de Mayo is actually about. So, it started as a day to celebrate Mexico's victory over France. The French army marched toward Mexico City, but were defeated in 1862. It's a pretty minor holiday in Mexico, but it has evolved into a celebration of Mexican culture in the U.S. By the way, it's not the same thing as Mexican Independence Day, which is in September. And that's it for today. You are caught up from the weekend. If you want to read more about any of the stories we talked about, just go to the homepage of thenewsworthy.com, click episodes, and look for today's date. You'll find all the story sources and links right there. The Newsworthy is ready for you to listen every weekday by 4 in the morning. I'll be back with more news tomorrow. Have a great day.